Hey, it's another day, so we're continuing our grade series, off-season grade series, and apparently whenever we decide to talk about grades or give out some grades, some sort of news happens today or during those days heading into that show, and today it was Ken Rosenthal talking about maybe the Dodgers looking to trade Teoscar Hernandez, so we're going to talk about that here on this edition, all of that stuff, this edition of All Dodgers. And at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. We hit some memes. What is going on, everybody? My name is Clint Macias. Find me as Real FRG on the social media machines. The All Dodgers is presented by FanDuel, part of the Bleav Network podcast. Joining me tonight is my buddy, my pal, your guys' friend. That's Kevin Skinner. Give him a follow, Skinner7Kevin, on the social media. It's just us boys tonight, just us girls tonight. It's been a while since it's been just us. I think Jeff told you happy birthday yesterday on the show. If not, happy birthday, buddy. Everybody give him a billion accolades and love and
money.
Billion
money.
Billion money. He doesn't get paid here. By the way, I'll eventually get you something one of these days. But, hey, stuff is going on. Not much. We'd like a little bit of more to be happening. Of course, yesterday you guys talked about Miguel Rojas returning to the Dodgers on a one-year, $5.5 million deal. That is good news. The Dodgers needed somebody like Miguel Rojas. But the news of the day, let's just jump into it. Ken Rosenthal, deep into the morning hours, early into the morning hours, decided to pen an article where apparently something we talked about on the channel about a month ago, little under a month ago, the potential that, Teoscar Hernandez would maybe potentially make a pretty decent trade chip for the Dodgers right now. Here are some of the words from that. Not this one. We want this button here. But yeah, interesting possibility of service for the two-time defending World Series champion Dodgers, a trade of right fielder Teoscar Hernandez. It's come up in conversation. His name has come up in conversation. They view a deal as unlikely, but with the Dodgers in the market for an outfielder, subtracting Hernandez might be counterproductive. That's kind of the whole story, the full story here of all of that, where the Dodgers are at if they decide to want to trade him or something like that. But it's definitely there are layers to it. There's a layer where it makes sense. Obviously, Kevin, there's another layer where, like Ken says at the end, they already need an outfielder. You could argue, maybe they don't need to, but you definitely need a left fielder. Why would you also trade away your right fielder? Maybe your right fielder becomes a left fielder. What's your pulse? What's your taste on all of this this Teo rumor from Ken?
So on the specific piece that you need an outfielder, this is true, but I don't think trading Teo away means they need another outfielder. I think Ryan Ward's just kind of around. And he's not Teoscar Hernandez. Let's get out in front of that one. But
breaking news.
He's not. But they had already mentioned that Ryan Ward could play a factor into next year. So maybe this would open up a spot for him because they would still need an outfielder. If they get rid of Teoscar, you have Ryan Ward in one spot, Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker, somebody in another spot, and then Andy Paez. Right? That doesn't change. It's either Ryan Ward, Teoscar Hernandez if they want to go that route. The other piece to this is, what Ken said, that Teoscar's come up in trade rumors, which is different than the language he used, or I forget who used, for Tyler Glasnow, which was Tyler Glasnow could be a surprising candidate to be traded. There weren't any talks around him, or he hadn't been mentioned. The way I read the Teoscar bit is the Dodgers don't let news get leaked. They're very tight-lipped as an organization. Things don't really leave that front house, that clubhouse. We've seen Dave get in trouble before by mentioning Mookie's going to play second base, and everyone was like, are you allowed to say that? And I think either Brandon Gomes or Andrew Friedman came on and said, yeah, he might have jumped the gun on that one for a second. So they're usually tight-lipped. And then also on top of that is, if you look at the landscape of the free agency market, there aren't a lot of power righties just available.
Yeah,
there kind of aren't. It's like Alex Bregman, if you want to commit, which he's expected to get 6 years, $100 million, whereas I think Teoscar's owed 40 something over the next 2 years. I don't remember his exact contract details, but it'd be a lot less of a commitment. But there aren't many power righties, and especially proven power righties like Teoscar is. So the Dodgers kind of can create their own market by saying, or by leaking out a little bit, hey, maybe Teoscar's available if somebody wants to come calling, and maybe not blow them away, but start a conversation that maybe they didn't think could happen before without a Teoscar Hernandez involved in that trade. So I think there's a little more to this. I think it's unlikely, but I don't think it's like highly unlikely. Like, I think there is a real possibility that Teoscar gets moved, and they still go get another outfielder, and then they let Ryan Ward try and be the left fielder.
Alana and I had this conversation yesterday on the Dodgers territory about it. It's hard to envision this team, this front office trying to go, back to back to back, trying to run it back now for a third time in a row and say, here's Ryan Ward as your starting, let alone starting left fielder, now saying, well, maybe not starting right fielder. I think if you trade Teoscar Hernandez, it's because you are going to find a center fielder. It's because they're landing a Byron Buxton type or something like that. Somebody that makes it very easy and obvious to move Andy Pages to right field. Otherwise, I bank more. I don't know what you guys had talked about last night on the outfield side. I'm banking on a bounce back for Teo, at least bounce back enough offensively for him to mask those defensive woes, because we know he's not going to magically get better or become a Gold Glover or even serviceable in right field. But if he could outslug his problems, I think they'll be okay. But I don't know. I think this is probably, you mentioned the Dodgers don't leak in any sort of information. This is probably more other teams having an interest in Teoscar and the dynamics that he brings to a team, the leadership, the clubhouse stuff, yada, yada, 2-time World Series champion now. There's probably more other teams interested rather than the Dodgers actively.
I don't think they're actively. Yeah. I don't think Andrew Friedman's waving it around. I think they're listening for sure. But I kind of look at it this way. Let's say, because I don't think they trade Teoscar if they don't have a backup plan. That's not something they do. Yeah. They wouldn't just run out like a minor league outfield. But I do think if you look at last year's starting lineup, and granted, hindsight's 2020, we didn't know how bad Michael Conforto would be. But if you look at Andy Paz, Teoscar Hernandez, and Michael Conforto, if you said, okay, well, let's do Cody Bellinger, Andy Pages, and Ryan Ward, I don't necessarily think that's any worse than last year's. And it's definitely defensively, it's definitely better.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of offensively probably a wash doing Belly for Teoscar. And this is we're just talking out of our ass here, friends and family. It's probably a wash. If anything, you're getting you're definitely getting a net gain on the defensive side. That I mean, we've seen Cody's offensive peak. He's never going to be that guy again. We've seen Teo's probably offensive peak in 2024. Maybe he can get back to being that guy or something close to it. Still, I mean, at the root of it or at the end of it, I just don't really envision a world where they trade him. The reason the Dodgers would trade him is because they have a clear defensive improvement for the outfield, and that would only really realistically be in center field.
I don't know. I like Andy in center field, to be honest. I wouldn't hate
he would be much better in right field. It makes sense for him to be in right field.
Sure, but if you want to do something like Andy Pages, Kyle Tucker, or Andy Paz, Cody Bellinger, with Paz in center and either of those two guys in right field, I think that's pretty good too. I think that defensively is still a very solid outfield. I'm just a little more bullish on Andy Paz in center field just because he's so young. He's 25 years old. There's a lot of growth to be had in that position for him. So I think, I don't think it's like a slam dunk. Teo's gone, but I think there's a bigger possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up, during the winter meetings and all of a sudden trade talks around Teoscar Hernandez are heating up. And it's like, oh, okay. We kind of saw the signs coming, a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think we'll definitely know a lot more about the seriousness of this a week from today for sure. Friends in the chat, BC saying, can't wait until Bellinger signs somewhere so I'll never have to hear his name connected to this French. Oh, don't think that will end there. People always love
Kenley's been gone forever, and there's still talks about him.
Well, I mean, this is the first offseason where Kenley kind of makes just a sliver of sense as somebody who is not going to be a primary closer. And yeah, for sure. Definitely Cody. OCJ in the chat. Sorry, OCF and J. Corey saying Ryan Ward sucks in the outfield. Did you guys forget that? Somebody didn't listen to our interview with Ryan Ward where we talked about him getting much better defensively, a lot of the work that he's put into his game.
You know who else sucks in the outfield?
Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah.
He's really bad.
Listen, I mean, if Ryan Ward is as passable, I don't even know if it's passable. If he can match what Michael Conforto did defensively for the Dodgers in left field last year, and then maybe chip in 20, 25 homers and a respectable not 199 batting average, then you'd feel a little bit better about it. But I still don't think they head into spring training with Ryan Ward as the everyday left fielder or competing for the everyday left field job. It's probably, but I've been trying to
because you could, because if Miggy Rowe comes and plays second base, you tell Ryan Ward, hey, your job is left field. And then when Tommy Edman comes back, if Ryan Ward's figured it out, Tommy Edman goes to second base. If he has it, Tommy Edman goes to the outfield, and then you slide Andy Pages over. So
I guess there is something about taking away all the pomp and circumstance and BS that comes with an opening day roster or whatever, because we know that doesn't mean crap if you make the opening day roster. That is the least important roster that you could make. Yeah, for some people, I mean, I really hope for Ryan Ward's sake. He seems like a nice dude. He's earned it. My God, has he earned an opportunity? But hopefully it's just an opportunity. And hey, you know what? I mean, James Outman earned an opportunity in 2023 and was pretty damn good in center field for that year. And then end of career, end of list.
Forgot how to hit. Literally forgot how to hit.
Forgot how to hit 100%. BC also was mentioning whenever somebody acts like Dodgers prospects will hit, when they almost never do. It's been a while since there's been a true prospect hit. Andy Pages is teetering on that right now. If he has a good third season as a big leaguer here coming up in 26, you could maybe call him not a bust. I'm looking for not a bust. That would be the most ideal. JY Kim, isn't it more due to a lack of opportunity, or are the Dodgers prospects really bad? I don't know. I think your favorite team, the Cubs, and looking at Michael Busch, that situation very clearly for Bushy, Busho, because Wardo, Busho. Anyway, for Michael Busch, it was opportunity. I think they've had some guys. This team became not, for some reason I hear the name Ryan Ward and Jerry Sands pops into my head over and over, that kind of guy. Or let's go with a Miguel Vargas, Miggy Vargas was given an opportunity. It didn't work. I think that really set back the Dodgers leaning on prospects with Vargas not working. But I don't know. I think it's more so opportunity. What do you think to JY Kim's question? And I'll throw it back up on the screen so we could all be reminded.
If people figured out prospects, they'd be making a lot more money doing it. There's always question marks surrounding them. There are very few prospects like a Paul Skeens that can just show up day one and be like, oh yeah, he's just the guy. Or Roman Anthony, even he took a week or two, but eventually at the end of the year, it's yeah, he's really, really good at what he does. I do think for the Dodgers' sake, it is opportunity. And just also where this team is at, It's easier to, play a bunch of prospects if, you're just trying to get into the dance. When you're the Dodgers and your expectation is to win the World Series, you have to be kind of more than just sure of the product you're putting on the field. So, yes, I think the Miguel Vargas thing did hurt them quite a bit. I think they maybe second-guessed their evaluations of prospects. But I do think it is for an opportunity. But this is a chance for an outfielder to kind of maybe get a spot here. And also, they just haven't had many offensive prospects that they haven't traded away.
Yeah.
Like they get rid of them pretty quick for good reason because they get good players back.
Yeah, and those guys really haven't panned out. Not a whole lot outside of Michael Bush. There aren't a lot of names out there that have
hasn't. Miguel
Jacob Amaya.
Jacob Amaya, for Tampa Bay. He got hurt, so we don't really
and
know.
We'll say it now before somebody puts it in the chat. If you're going to mention Yordan Alvarez, he literally never even played any baseball for the Dodgers after they signed him. They signed him, and then they said, yeet to get Josh Fields. Wait,
so
I have too many buttons closed for Josh Fields. Here we go.
Yeah. It's something where the Dodgers farm system does hit quite often, probably more than most farm systems do. But they also right now are just flush with pitching and young outfield talent. Not a lot of like infield and like major league ready guys. I just had a thing pop into my head where I think you're young, you're with it, you'll get it. The Dodgers are really, really good at making NFT prospects where they have no real present day value, but there's some idiot out there that really, really wants those prospects. I don't know. Don't get me in trouble with prospects. There is that part though, where why the Dodgers. Part of the reason why the Dodgers get such highly rated prospects is because they have these just like crazy, insane, underlying metrics. Like look at Zahir Hope's exit velo. You're like, a guy that size should not be hitting the ball that hard, and yet he does. Now there's some swing and miss in his game. Can that translate to the major league level? We have no idea. But the ceiling is so high because he hits the ball so dang hard that it's like, yeah, that's like a top prospect because if that hits, that's an all-star caliber player.
Yep. By the way, a little bit ago, you mentioned something about winning the World Series, and of course, that's something the Dodgers are trying to do. Looking over with our friends at FanDuel, checking out current World Series odds, not a whole lot of change. Imagine that. Dodgers still favorites, plus 360 favorites over there on the FanDuel. I also like this, finding this one, discovered perusing the FanDuel site. You could bet on potential World Series matchups next year. Kev, if you want to be bold, Dodgers, Chicago White Sox, I'm telling you, man.
It's sick.
You could retire. Plus 52,000 if you were to bet. I could
retire single if I told Xana I bet money on that World Series matchup.
I put $100 on it. It's the ultimate scratch off lottery. I mean, you're losing $100.
You're losing. I'm setting it on fire.
Maybe
I would get more value of that $100 by lighting it on fire and feeling the heat off of something that I believe is flame retardant. So they'd still get more value from it.
That's pretty good. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should all, pool in $100 worth of like YouTube money, super chat money here, and just put it all on black or put it all on White Sox and see what happens. Maybe not White Sox. We'll find a team because you could bet on other teams, better teams. But I want one of those plus 52,000s. Big thanks though to FanDuel for presenting the show here. We do have a couple of super chats to go towards that already. Smurfy24 which is. He lets me know officially now, Francisco Diaz. Appreciate you. With the I didn't push the buttons. With the $4.99 super chat saying, let me help you out. Last week it was Glasnow rumors. Now this week it's Teo. It's been so slow. The media clickbait is strong. I
wouldn't say it's slow.
I mean, it's kind of slow for the Dodgers.
But not for baseball. Yeah. Like usually nothing happens until the winter meetings, and we've already had Ryan Helsley sign. Devin Williams has signed. There's been two big trades already with Taylor Ward, and today the password. There's been a lot of Johan Oviedo. I've never heard of either of those players. I just know the password, and I don't know how to pronounce his first name.
Josh Nixon Garcia.
There's no way. I will not. No,
hey, it's a good thing he didn't get traded to the Dodgers because I would hate to ever have to type that name out. But the reason I had put this up on the screen either way, I mean, it's not busy for the Dodgers. It's busy around baseball, and I guess that's entertaining if you're a weird freak like, well, maybe I used to be at a different time. But anyways, the reason
Red
I
Sox
had
are
made
making moves.
yeah, they're making moves,
Cool.
and I don't know. This kind of signals to me
Baltimore
that they're
Orioles.
more likely going to hold on to Jarren Duran, one of our top trade candidates, trade targets for the Dodgers. I don't know if the Dodgers are actively interested in him, but even so. A couple more super chats here. For another one from Francisco with another $1.99. Thank you very much, sir. Says the media are trying to ruin the Dodgers. You know what? Everybody's ruining the Dodgers. The Toronto Blue Jays are ruining the Dodgers by deferring
Oh yeah, I
all
forgot
of that
Dylan
money.
Cease signed.
Yeah, Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's been a lot of stuff. We also got $1.99 from our friend Noah. As you know, Noah Ortega says happy birthday to everybody's second favorite Kevin. Hey, happy belated birthday to you. You know what? We haven't done it in a while. Bringing out the birthday shots for Kevin. Dad's not here, all right? Grandpa's not here, man.
I know. For the first time I actually have alcohol on my shelves because I did for Thanksgiving, I was in charge of creating a Green Bay themed cocktail. Because my sister-in-law is a Packers fan they were playing on Thanksgiving. So
thoughts and prayers to all of that. Well, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Wait, in my all Dodgers shot glass.
In my just Dodgers shot glass.
It's right all on there. I can't believe we used to
You know what?
do,
I should.
I can't believe we used to do shots for $5, $5 super chats. That was an insane time.
Why did we stop?
I don't know. I think we wanted to live.
We could definitely
bring it back for one night.
We could bring it back for one night.
Bring it back for one night.
For a night.
$3 super shot. The super chat.
No, okay, no.
No,
that's like the John Mulaney bit. It's like nickel shot night. And he goes, "No, we should not go to nickel shot night. We'll die."
Oh, God. Hey, guys, if you're enjoying any of this, I'm sorry. Also, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I guess this would count. We got $4.99 just now from Richie Flores in the chat. Appreciate Richie. He says left field has been as empty as Manny's morals. Wanted to vomit every time Conforto was in the lineup. Dodgers prospects die at Oklahoma City. Off-season clickbait. And, well, if we just enacted it, we got to honor the system.
But he didn't know. Well, there's no...
We have to honor the system. Chief, trust the process. $5 super chat shots. I'm going to take halfies though because I don't want to die tonight. All right.
So am I.
Anybody listening to this in this podcast form, I also genuinely apologize. We're going to get into now the meat and potatoes of the show, which is we wanted to talk about the bullpen. We are continuing the grades series. We have so far done the infield on Monday, Wednesday. Jevin, as we call them, they went through the outfield. I saw in the comments you guys pissed a couple of people off, or like one or two people off because you didn't give Shohei Ohtani, I guess, like an S grade. You only gave him an A. Which I don't know, dumbass.
Also, first off, why am I on the two bad segments of the outfield and now the bullpen? You got the infield? Are you kidding me? You got to gas everybody up. Here's Kevin to talk about a bunch of F's and D's.
Well, every once in a while, most of the time, you're really good at some of the bad takes. So we got to even tee you up harder for the bad takes. So you can be Dennis.
Nothing but good takes today.
That's BTK right there. BTK right over there. That's bad take Kevin. All right. The outfield, guys. Breaking was not good. It was not not the outfield. The bullpen. The bullpen also, the outfield was kind of a struggle, but you guys talked about that last night. The bullpen, not very good last season. This season, however you want to put it. Some standouts for sure. You see some of the ERAs there. If you are watching this on the YouTube, some of the whips, no nays on there. Alex Vesia, once again, kind of the anchor of that bullpen. Jack Dreyer showed out in his rookie season with the Dodgers, but otherwise, a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of it went from the Dodgers were ruining baseball by signing those final two relievers in Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates to those guys kind of ruined the Dodgers during the regular season there. I guess we could just, well, Juhas. I'm only counting that as one, and then maybe another one. I'll give it.
All right, Gimli, relax.
That is
my Lord of the Rings. See, that's something you get here and not at DB. You get Lord of the Rings references here. see them do that.
Uhas gave it. I didn't do that, but there he says shots, everybody. $20 super chat. Thank you, Kevin Uhas, our favorite Kevin. Cheers. Salud, shalom, all the things. But overall, massive disappointment was the Dodger bullpen. I think they finished 20th in all of baseball in team ERA. Tanner Scott was the biggest problem. Did we want to save him for last or just go straight for the kill right away?
No, I'm all for starting. We're gonna go Tanner Scott, or do you want to go
do them in
Kirby
order.
Yates or Tanner Scott?
Because we also, by the way, we also have this. We also have the secondary list of the other, not so ready for primetime players, guys with injuries and stuff. But yeah, let's start with the.
Michael Kopech appeared in 71 games this year. Really? No, he didn't.
Wait, who?
Lie. Michael Kopech.
Oh, I forgot to update that number. That's my bad. I think it's 14. Yeah, that was a typo. A typo. I apologize.
All right, let's start
That's
with
14.
the first ones. Can we lump Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates into a super
No.
F?
Oh, super F? Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for that. Yeah, no, it is.
Super F.
Tanner Scott was a massive disappointment, and there was a couple of points where you hoped he found something. You hoped he was piecing together, putting the bad parts of his season behind him. But that turns out, that meme where Mo throws Barney out of Mo's Tavern, and then Barney's standing right behind him. That's what happened. That is what happened with Tanner Scott's season over and over and over again in 2025. It was a bad year. So bad, he was left off of the playoff roster. Then he was added. Then he had to have butt surgery. And then he wasn't on the World Series roster because he just plainly wasn't ready to go. The hope, the expectations, he's going to be better in 2026. It would be hard for him not to be. But yeah, that's a big fat F.
Yeah, what sucked, in my opinion, is he kind of did a Michael Conforto, where in the middle of the year, he had like a stretch of like 3 or 4 games where he looked absolutely filthy. And then just for a second, you thought, oh, he's back. I remember saying it. I was like, if he gets 3 in a row, if he gets me 3 scoreless outings and a save or 2 mixed in there, I'll say he's back. I said he was back. I'm not gonna do it. No. And he
the way back.
He was bad afterwards, and it went from a mechanics thing to a confidence thing to he was just grasping at straws. They had to leave him off the postseason roster, like you mentioned. I do believe there has to be a rebound in there because he's too talented. His career is too good for him to like literally plunge off a cliff as soon as he signs with the Dodgers. So
yeah, because the thing was, it wasn't necessarily about like the stuff. The stuff still seemed good. It just seemed like
he's still touching 98. His sliders still. It was just he was throwing his fastball like literally down the middle.
Yeah, it was location, and it was maybe a little bit of pitch calling, pitch selection in there. He only has 2 pitches, but it seemed like at times he would either just want to stick with the slider or want to stick with the fastball. When you keep throwing it slider, big leaguers are going to catch up to him. They're 100% going to catch up to it. You mentioned lumping in the guys on the outside of that list there. Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, the super F there. Nicole, the wrong button there. Nicole Taylor said that's F squared or F minus squared. Either way, that's the right way of saying it. Kirby Yates, another dude. We talked to both Alana Rizzo and I talked to both of those guys in spring training, talking about how great this bullpen is going to be. Anybody could step up any day and be the closer that day. And my sweet word, were they all so bad? Kirby just never found anything, and he got worse
like 3
and
games
worse. And
the beginning of the year,
yeah,
it was filthy for like a few games, and then it was just bad. Like it was just all bad. And he had a career year in 24 with the Rangers, right? He had like a 1-something ERA. He was absolutely filthy. He was arguably the best relief pitcher in baseball last year. And you expect some regression, but not a 1.331 whip, a 5.23 ERA with 50 games. In 50 games, like he got ample opportunities and just never found it. Thank you for your services, Kirby. I hope that tattoo healed really well, and I never want to see you in a Dodgers uniform again.
Yeah. I mean, chances are he's retiring, but Yeah, was just not a good season. Was not a good season to say the very least in there. Stanley in the chat has a B for Vesia and Banda. Everybody else gets an F. Honestly, I mean, we've seen better seasons out of Alex. But for him having to step up and be an anchor, and then later on us learning throughout the World Series there, were kind of complications going on in his life, and with the baby and all this kind of stuff with Kayla's pregnancy, like dude put up an A. He absolutely put up an A of a season in my opinion. And I've been, at least people accused me. I was accused of being pretty harsh in my grading on Monday's infield show. But dude's nails. The whip was there. He was very good at limiting base runners. And again, having to step up in the absence of Blake Treinen was bad. Dan Hudson retired. Evan Phillips, who we'll talk about in a little bit. Evan Phillips not being there a majority of the season. Them not having Bazooka Gratterall. Like, Alex Vesia had to shoulder a lot of that burden, had to really become the bullpen dog. Like, he was the lone dog left in that bullpen. And he wasn't, obviously. And Anthony Banda was there as well. But he owned it, man. He absolutely killed it. Love everything AV, the real AV, Alex Vesia did last year. That's an A for me. A-. I'll give him an A- because I think he's definitely got more in the tank.
It's got to be a B for me. I think to be an A reliever, an A+ reliever, you have to be able to reliably get both sides of the plate out. He's really dominant against lefties. He had a 498 OPS against lefties. Very, very good. It was close to 700. It was a 682 against righties. It's not good. That's not good enough to be an A, but it's definitely good enough to be a B. Easily the best, or at least most consistent relief pitcher in the bullpen. So you got to love that from Vesia. Morally, it's an A because, God, I hope he and his wife and the rest of his family, their family, are doing okay, because that's just a tragedy that absolutely no one should have to go through. Seeing that Instagram post, I won't get into the details, but like looking at it, I could kind of see some of what had happened, and that was heartbreaking to look at. So it's morally an A, but on the field it's a B. There is better from Alex Vesia. We know this, but to be thrust into that situation immediately, because that was definitely not his expected role going into the year, he definitely exceeded expectations.
Yeah, a guy who kind of was expecting to be the bullpen horse, was expecting to be the de facto bullpen leader, Blake Treinen, and it was just always false start after false start. I mean, the 1-8 whip, like the dude kept allowing base runners. They all
let's just
scored.
Go to Treinen. Treinen now.
We're on Treinen. Yeah.
F.
It's an F. Right. Yeah, it's fully an F. I respect the fact that Blake Treinen gave his right arm to the Dodgers in that 2024 World Series run. He still got a year under contract, but with how critical, how important he was going to be to this team's success, this past season and into the World Series and, postseason World Series and all that. Yeah, it was just bad. It was bad all around. He had some injury woes, which is what you expect for an aging veteran reliever that still was throwing, 98 a year ago or whatever. But F. Maybe an F+, because he tried his best. He really did try his best. It was weird because the stuff seemed like it was there, but maybe it was playing a tick down and couldn't land it. Definitely couldn't get away not landing 96. You can maybe do it with the 98 with that kind of movement. 96, 95, hittable.
Yeah, and the sweeper was there at times. It was his two-seam. He just couldn't land anything. It just, so to righties, you eliminate the two-seam, and then you're just looking sweeper four-seam, and they just started crushing him, and he became more four-seam reliant in 2025 than he had his entire career, and that's not his game. He's a horizontal pitcher, and when he can't move one of the directions, is obviously going to make it. That's going to limit him. The fact that he has another year on his contract is a little terrifying, if I'm being honest, especially with how much we know Dave will just lean on him even if he doesn't have it. So we'll see. What
it is
his
just
role
1
is.
year. I'm okay with the 1 year flyer. somebody.
Yes, but
RJM,
the 1 year flyer of a 5.40 ERA is like terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, look how long they threw. How long did they use Luis Garcia last year early in the season? You know, like you'll know in the first 2 or 3 months that Blake Treinen does not have it. I don't think, to RJM's point here in the tweet or the comment, I don't think they need to release him yet. I think there are other guys, if you're trying to find like roster space or something like that, there are other guys you could probably move off of. But for now, like, I'm okay hoping that he could rediscover himself, another off season, getting back into, getting his arm back into not having pitched all of those innings in the World Series run in 2024. I think that'll help him out a whole bunch.
I mean, to your Luis Garcia point, he was thrown into garbage time innings. He had 28 appearances. They kept using Blake Treinen in the 8th and 9th.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. For next year, though, you can keep him around. It's okay to hold on to him because you're not guaranteeing that he's going to be around in October. Even post trade deadline. Somebody had said in the comments much earlier, Arnie said, I'm not too worried about the bullpen. If they suck again, the Dodgers can just get somebody at the trade deadline. Haha, that is what we thought, but they didn't really do that last year, did they? They got Brock Stewart, who we could look at this. We could look ahead at the other page real quick. Brock Stewart, bad, and then hurt. Over 2
whip. Can I give him an eye? They just give him an incomplete.
That's an incomplete, yeah.
Because he's just only appeared in 4 games, and we never saw him again.
Let's finish up our key relievers list. So we got, it seems like we got bad, and then good, and then bad. So let's go back to good. Jack Dreyer, the rookie reliever, making his big league debut in 2025. He was a guy who a little over a year ago at this time, a lot of us hadn't heard of. Me, for sure, had not heard of. But they added him to the 40-man roster to protect him from the Rule 5 draft. And then he shows up to spring training. He does well. He's added to the travel squad and the 26-man roster in Japan. And we're like, okay, this will probably be just a couple of games, and then we will move on. And then all of a sudden, he just sticks around. 67 games the dude threw for the Dodgers in 2025 and was great. Like, front to back was really, really good. Seemed to have really no issues getting out right, getting out left. I don't have the splits in front of me. I'm sure you do, because
600 against left, 500 against right.
Yeah, just good. Very, very good. You can't ask for more out of somebody who hasn't done it before. That is an A. Jack Dreyer's an A. What do you got?
I'll go A- just because he wasn't like elite, but he was really, 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 really good. Yeah. And he definitely outperformed literally any expectation. If he had maybe closer to a low tier 2, I could give a lower 2. I could give him an A. I could bump him up, but he did have a couple hiccups now and again. A good stat that I like looking at is K minus walk rate. So what's your strikeout rate minus your walk rate? A lot of guys with high strikeout rates also have high walk rates. So you kind of hover around the low 20s. He was at 17. Didn't have crazy strikeout stuff, but maybe he develops into that next year as he gains more confidence. Yeah. So I like his profile. Like we said, he's going to be 27 entering next year, and I think they have a it was 600 against left. So 600 against right, 500 against left. Sorry.
Okay, got you.
I think they have a really good heir apparent to an Alex Vesia type role.
Or
if
Banda.
They need to, or Banda, either way. If they need a lefty specialist, which I don't necessarily think Jack Dreyer will end up becoming, but if they need a lefty specialist, I think he could easily fit that role.
And the good thing is, heading into next year, dude still has options. So if he has some moments, it's very similar to when the Dodgers landed, Alex Vesia. Obviously, they trade for him after winning the World Series from the Marlins, and he was kind of booty to start, and then they sent him to AAA. He found something, became a dog, and then there was, I think, 2022. Yeah, he kind of had the up and down season, and then has been a stalwart ever since. So Jack Dreyer should be around, should be an important factor for this team moving on. I do want to double back a little bit because I think Blake Treinen is the right guy for this super chat earlier that I forgot to get to from JY Kim. It is a $5 super chat. That means we are drinking, my friend. Oh no, poor us. I know you were really planning on taste testing your beverage tonight, but here we are. Shotskis.
No, I've been tasting.
Shalom.
I'm down to a little bit, but yeah.
All right. JY Kim says, do you think there was a domino effect from when Snell and Glasnow went on the IL that cascaded all the way down to the bullpen as they were severely overused? Billion, million, trillion %. And this goes for the guy we just talked about before, Jack Dreyer, with Blake Treinen, and the guy we're talking about next, Ben Casparius, because Benny Caps started the season.
Are we skipping Anthony Banda?
Yeah, I guess I am. I decided Ben Casparius fit here. Initially, I was just going to have this focus on Blake Treinen, but we'll get back to the Anthony Banda side of things. But Ben Casparius, like, it's a tale of not even 2 seasons, but in a way it is, because the first 2 months he was so good, and then he was kind of, RJM saying in the chat also, like earlier, they screwed Ben Casparius over. Not so much sending him down, but at least when they put him into the starting rotation, but then he wasn't in the starting rotation, that became a whole thing. He did not have a consistent role, and he also had to shoulder a lot of innings early in the season because of, as JY Kim pointed out, like that domino effect of Snell missing time, Glasnow missing time. You expect one of those dudes to probably miss a month or 2 on the IL, not both of them at the same time to start the season. So that was definitely pretty tough. But I would imagine, of course, I know because you and I talked about it here at that point early in the season, but that's what led to some of that early bullpen overuse, was missing those dudes.
Yeah, they had to put some guys into long relief positions, not high leverage, but they had to overextend the usage on some of their bullpen arms, and they tried to stretch out Ben Casparius because I think at a point, Ben Casparius was like their actual number 5. There was no one behind him.
Because they also Roki Sasaki got hurt too, and I don't think they had lost Kershaw back.
Kershaw wasn't back yet. Exactly, they were down Glasnow. They were down. Snell, Shohei hadn't fully built up yet either, so it was literally just like Yoshinobu Yamamoto and guys, Emmett Sheehan, who had just come back, so they were working him up too. Like, there was just dudes. So Ben Casparius is one of them. So if you look at him early in the season, 2.91 ERA in March and April, 2.45 in May, kind of when he's a relief, and then it goes to a 6.20, a 10.24 in June and July when they stretch him back out. Then they put him back in the relief role where he has a 2.89 in August. And then he ends up with a 4.5 in September, October. But because he's kind of been thrown around, he's kind of lost a little bit of his rhythm. So you look at his splits, and I say all that just to say they're a little misleading. So he had a 6.52 ERA as a reliever and a 4.37. 6.52 as a starter, a 4.3 or starter, which is the games he started, but then they ended up using a starter in front of him. So he also had a 4.37 as a reliever, but that's not true either.
Just really jerked him around. Yeah,
it's really closer to like a 3 as a relief pitcher, and then like closer to a 7 as a starter. It was tough to watch. Though I think what you can take away from Ben Casparius this season is the dude can pitch. He is nasty. He has gross stuff. He just needs a defined role. They just can't do. They can't treat him like they did Michael Grove. They just can't do that.
Really good.
Give him a role and let him just at the beginning of the season. Hey, you're a relief pitcher this year. Hey, you're a starter this year, and let him go. Don't do what they did to Michael Grove, because that guy did not get his feet under him at any point, and we all thought he had nasty stuff, but now he's no longer in the organization. I don't want to see happen to Ben Casparius, because I think Ben Casparius' stuff is obviously much better than Michael Grove's.
Yeah, I mean, Grove had a nasty slider, and you would think that a 97-mile-an-hour fastball would play up, but it just didn't. It just never really did consistently for old Mikey Grove, and he was officially taken out of the org, right?
Yeah, ARH41 back then. Yamamoto had Casparius, Gonsolin in May. Oh my God, I forgot it was Gonsolin in May. Oh yeah, that was a tough time. Dodgers fans all remember the dark times.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May tomorrow. The 3 boys will be back. Me, Kevin, and Jeff will be talking about the starting rotation, assuming everybody's available to join us. But we will be live tomorrow night, wrapping up our grade series leading up into the winter meetings next week, which I'm excited for because there should be something happening. But to wrap up Ben Casparius before we double back to Anthony Banda, but we got a super chat beforehand, and I would tell you, go ahead and pour your drink before we do it. I got a C for Benny Caps. Like, it was a really good season, but then he just he probably met a girl and stopped doing his homework. That's what it felt like.
No, that was Justin Robleski.
Too soon? Dude, was it David Vassay who asked him about that? No, it was Steven Nelson who asked him about that sign on
Nelly
the
asked
parade.
him? Oh,
Nelly asked him, I think it was, about that sign. It's like, hey, did you see there was somebody who said, marry me, Robleski? And he was like, I'll think about it.
Oh, that's right.
It's like, not the time. Not the time. Read the room, bro. Anyways, what do you got? What's your grade for Benny Caps? Did you? I don't remember.
It's going to be a C. It's going to be an average. It's a C, but the ceiling, get it, is there. I could easily see him. Yeah. I could see him becoming a very useful starter, maybe a 4 or a 5, or potentially like a good high leverage.
Please don't start him.
Reliever.
They don't need a starter.
So, yeah.
He needs to be the heir apparent to. I'm pointing this way because I'm looking at his baseball reference page. Yeah. I'm staring him in the eyes right now. He needs to be the heir apparent to Blake Treinen,
and if they do that, he would be a very good high leverage reliever.
Absolutely. The stuff is filthy. Like you said, nasty stuff. They just need to kind of keep it consistent for my dude. But we did get a $4.99 super chat to break things up from Noah Ortega. Noah, as you know, says, bring it back. Jeff can chug Diet Coke shots, but he wants some shots for us, so cheers to you, my friend. Oh, Dad, it doesn't. You know what? I'm remembering why we stopped doing this. Why we stopped doing $5 shot super chats. Anyways, moving on. One more on this list. It is Tony Banda, Anthony Banda, whatever you want to call him. Interesting season. Started out pretty mid, found a really nice groove, and kind of, became somebody that wasn't the worst bullpen arm that Dave had left to use in October, which was a little helpful. Had some key moments, also had some key blow-ups, but, he is somebody who is still around. He is healthy. He is available. He does not have options, which I think very much works against him next year when the Dodgers already have 2-3 lefty relievers. When you look at Tanner Scott, Alex Vesia, and Jack Dreyer, and Ronan Kopp also on the 40-man roster. Fine. A very fine season. Good, not great. That's a B for Anthony Banda. Somebody said it earlier in the chat too. It's a B for Banda for me. What do you got?
I'm going to go C+. He really disappointed in the World Series specifically. I know they kind of gave him some pretty tough – they put him in a tough spot, but he never really rose to the occasion. Every single time he was in, he gave up an earned run. Actually, except for one, but he got like one out. So there's that. But yeah, in the World Series, he gave up 3 earned runs in game 1, 2 earned runs in game 4, 1 earned run in game 5. So it's got to be a C+ because he did what we needed him to do. He was effective against lefties, and he did it better than we wanted. But, if I'm going to give, Alex Vesia a B+ because he's not great at getting out righties, I have to knock Anthony Banda for the same thing.
That's fair.
He's not great against right-handed pitching. He is very, very good against lefties. This is not a knock on Anthony Banda. I'm very happy he's in this bullpen. It was nice to say we had too many lefties because Anthony Banda was just that good as a lefty against lefties. So I'm happy he's around, but he wasn't stellar. I was looking at some of his the splits against left-handed hitting, and with guys with more than 20 innings pitched against lefties, he was in the upper 20s, lower 30s in most major categories for relief pitchers. So he wasn't amazing, but he was more than serviceable.
Yeah.
And I think his importance was he could get high leverage innings, high leverage outs if needed. He could. So there was that ceiling there, but at the bare minimum, you could throw him out and at least get 3, maybe sometimes 4 outs. And as the season
maybe
trekked
sometimes
on,
1.
As the season trekked, they really needed that. So it's a little above average, but I can't go more than a C+.
Yeah, I mean, with all of the injuries and things that popped up, I mean, Tanner Scott missed time, Kirby Yates missed a bunch of time, starting rotation, dudes missed a bunch of time, all of that. For Banda to be the dude, I think, he led the team in appearances out of the bullpen on the pitching staff. That means something. That absolutely means something when you're trying to get, through 162 games. He was not as good as he was in 2024, and that's fine. He was still, you look at all of these ERAs on the page here. He's the third best, which is a problem at 3.18, but still also not terrible.
I have interesting take. I think the ERAs will get better because if you look at this list, a lot of these guys didn't pitch late into the year outside of Blake Treinen. Obviously, Vesia missed the World Series. Tanner Scott was left off the World Series roster. Anthony Banda pitched a little bit in the World Series, but was bad. Casparius, same thing. He didn't pitch in the playoffs. So I don't know if that like longevity narrative or that like pitching too late in the season is going to hold next year. I'm curious to see I'm curious to see if that's a thing, specifically for guys like Vesia and Tanner Scott.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say this: if Banda is on the roster late next year, I would be kind of surprised. Just to kind of button up Banda talk.
He's got the ability to earn it.
Yeah, absolutely. My thing is just apparently I decided to challenge Anthony Banda a whole bunch. So I'll tell you this, because Diane is saying we only have 46 likes right now. What I'm going to say is, guys, hit that like button if you believe in Anthony Banda. Hit that like button if you don't believe in Anthony Banda. So that way he knows that you either do or don't believe in him, and he'll try harder either way. That's, I think, engagement bait. Anyways, moving on to the second half of our list. And this is much more of a speed run here. No, Michael Kopech did not appear in 71 games. I flubbed that. I messed that up. That's my bad. He was in 14 games, I think it was. Bleav, 14 games. I just didn't update that because that was the line that I initially had Anthony Banda on. Mystery. Anyways, I apparently I only updated Kopech's whip, which, as you can see on the screen, was bad. It's very bad.
I was gonna say there's no way he had a 3.18 ERA.
Yeah,
it was actually better.
It was better.
Than that.
It was a 2.45.
What?
Yeah. The funny thing is Kopech was pretty good at limiting damage. Apparently, we're starting on Michael Kopech, which and his grade is going to be incomplete because he missed a bunch of time. Then he came back and was very good at dodging like trains. Like he was dodging accidents over. He was I don't know, somehow avoided giving up a whole bunch of runs. But still, with a 2.45 ERA, kind of got a little bit of a job done, but otherwise, like, was so bad at allowing base runners, just allowing anybody to be on base. They didn't always score, which is good.
Yeah, I can't find his inherited runners stat. Usually, BRF has it up. I can't find it right now. Maybe he came into only clean innings. I don't know. Usually they have an IP.
They what's funny is MLB used to have that, and I think they eliminated it because they eliminated that and left on base because I think it looks bad for the players, and they're trying to protect these damn players. But anyways, Kopech, we're starting on Kopech. It's an incomplete. I really do hope they bring him back. They find a way to bring him back.
I could see a minor league deal in his future. Because he's gonna get a major league deal. He'll get somebody's gonna take a flyer on him. The whip is unsustainable. You cannot have a 1.727 whip. That's not possible. Like, you're not a major league pitcher if you do that. The fact that he was able to limit damage is honestly shocking.
Fully agree with Cole. By the way, here
will not. We will not turn this stream off until I find his inherited runner stat, because I need to know if he gave up runs with men on base.
Because I know you were somebody that was real hot on hating Michael Kopech last year when I was like he's not as good as he was pitching to, or at least the ERA, but he's not as bad as he was kind of, the metrics or the eye test was telling you. Couldn't find the strike zone, that's for sure.
Yeah, he had a 2.45 or whatever, or 2.45 ERA. He has a 4.50 whip, and a 5.76 xFIP. I know, or 4.50 FIP, 5.76 xFIP, which I know we're getting to like.
You're getting the minutiae there, Chief.
But the point is the numbers. The fact that he managed to limit damage is surprising. What that tells me, honestly, is he allowed a bunch of base runners, and the guys ahead of him didn't give them up.
Hey, Jeff's in the chat. Yeah, helping you out there. Jeff knows things.
You. He does. He could find it before I could. Appreciate you. Well, Anyway, so what that tells me is he gave up a lot of base runners, but the guys that they put in ahead of him saved his bacon. And I'm a big believer in whip for relief pitchers because I need to know how many people you're going to put on base in big situations, and he's real bad at it. So it's going to be an incomplete, but if I'm being honest, it'd be like a D or an F.
I just don't think there was enough work shown.
Yeah. And he was also maybe injured. Who knows if those were real injuries?
The second one, absolutely not. The first one, probably pretty much, and I think it affected him. But I would love to see them take a flyer on him, not to be like the reliever, whatever. I've seen some stuff about the Dodgers now being linked to Robert Suarez or whatever, which makes a lot of sense. I don't think they go after Edwin Diaz. I don't think apparently they're not in the market so much for Pete Fairbanks, and I assume that could change. But to have Kopech around, like if nobody else wants him, to bring him back on some sort of prove it deal, a 1-year deal where it's, incentive laden, which, it feels like contracts, they don't really give out a lot of incentive based contracts anymore. I miss those good old days. We can get like a 2-year base and pitch your way to like a $15 million deal. Cause we know he is like, when he's right. So I already put it up. I think Cole by Cole said like, you don't just kind of kick 101 to the curb.
No, you don't,
there's something to it.
You can kick it to the curb when he literally hits like the netting.
When he hits either the curb or the netting. Anyways, I seriously didn't expect us to talk this much about Kopech, but hey, also very key component to that. The first World Series run in this trifecta that we're going for.
Say the first one. Oh, the first one.
Hey,
everyone remembers their first one.
Let's quickly talk about Roki Sasaki because it's very much an incomplete, but I put him here in the bullpen, and I'm assuming definitely because I already made the graphic, and it will have all the right numbers in the right spots, but we're also going to talk about him in the starting rotation. But Sasaki, an incomplete, but intriguing as a bullpen piece. You were somebody who was kind of clamoring for more of a bullpen role late in the season if he were to make it back from his injury and extended stint at AAA, and the Dodgers do not win a World Series without Roki Sasaki in that bullpen. So not much to say beyond that when it comes to Roki, outside of he was there, he's intriguing, and ultimately if he's going to be a big leaguer, I think it's going to be in the bullpen.
He's so young. He's 23 or maybe 24 at this point.
He's got
he's got a lot of time. Yoshinobu also struggled in his first year coming over.
His struggle was a 3 ERA.
Still, he struggled for Yoshinobu. Roki Sasaki
and he has 150 pitches, bro. Roki has 2.
Roki Sasaki did not come over with the pedigree that Yoshinobu did at all.
That's fair.
He's not a 3-time Sawamura Award winner. God, that's really
it's really hard to say, especially when you have all those $5 super drinks, super shots.
Super drinks.
Feeling empty.
Jesus. Somebody quick. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit. Ask and ye shall receive. The Truth Seeker Doc RB with a $10 super chat. That is pretty great. Any update on Gratterall? Do you think the surplus pitchers get converted to relief pitchers? Fairbanks over Diaz's 5-year demand. A lot to digest there.
We'll get to that in a second. Let me finish. Let's do this. Let me finish Roki, and then we'll hit that. All right?
Okay, go ahead. Continue on your Roki. Okay. Oh, you're taking
we should pour it. Anyway.
Shalom.
He's young. He's got a lot of time to develop. He's getting used to a new ball, new culture, all that kind of stuff. So
excuses, bro.
All very real excuses. I mean, Yoshinobu came over, and he was the best. He's the best pitching prospect we've ever seen come out of Japan, and he struggled per his standards. Roki Sasaki, he came over with the pedigree of he has the best split finger fastball that anyone has ever seen. But that was his pedigree. That was it. And yes, that split finger fastball is completely nasty. However, it's very reliant on him throwing upper 90s, and he needs a third pitch, which he had not developed in Japan, or an effective third pitch. So I do think he will definitely be able to, or he will definitely get a chance to develop a third pitch and be a starter. But as I've said all along, Roki Sasaki's floor is an elite closer. Closer. like untouchable. But he's gonna get the chance to be a starter because if they can rein in his command, if they can get him a third pitch, we're talking about one of the most unhittable pitchers in baseball because of how gross that splitter is. Because you look at Paul Skeens, his calling card is that splinker. But he has other pitches.
He has so many pitches.
Really
Dude just invents pitches along the way. Yeah,
I know. Literally invents pitches. I'm not saying Roki Sasaki is Paul Skeens. He's far from it. But when you have a calling card pitch like that, if you can develop average to slightly above average secondary pitches, man, it's really, really there's a very high ceiling for Roki as a starter. Now to get the truth serums, which or the truth seekers, I was saying truth serum because
let's get to the Gratterall part for sure.
Any update on Brewstar?
Far as we know, as far as we've heard and have seen, he is expected to be full go for the start of spring training. Him, Kyle Hurt will be fully, should be full go for start of spring training. That's a boy everybody needs to be watching next year. And Gavin Stone should, I think, be full go. This came from, I think, either Mark Pryor or Brandon Gomes said recently.
Gomes was talking about Gavin Stone. He said he should be full go.
Getting Bazooka back.
That's me. So
my boy.
I need my boy. We'll talk about him later. Yeah. I think any of the surplus pitchers get converted to relief pitching. Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, they will because there's a lot of starting pitching. Emmett Sheehan. I could very much see Emmett Sheehan and Gavin Stone just fighting for basically the same spot. That could happen. Fairbanks over Diaz's 5-year demand. The underlying, as much as I like Pete Fairbanks, because he gives a phenomenal post game, and that's really my true love about Pete Fairbanks. The underlying metrics don't like where he's trending.
Yeah.
So
I would be more interested in seeing like River Ryan moving to a bullpen role or Kyle Hurt than Pete Fairbanks. I like Pete Fairbanks for more than just his his post games.
I like him, but like. Anything more than a 2-year deal for Pete Fairbanks, I wouldn't like, because he's losing velocity on his fastball. His secondary is also losing a bit of bite on it, so he's just becoming more hittable. So if the shorter the deal, great. Anything more than 2, I'm not loving it.
Mm-hmm. Where are we at now? We're done. We wrapped up on Roki. Say Marco Polo. Edgargo. Gotcha. Edgargo, our boy. Fine. Could be better. Had moments of brilliance. Seemed like they really, I don't know, it probably doesn't make sense, or maybe it does make sense. It feels like the Dodgers didn't really want to fully rely on him at different points, probably justifiably. I give him, based on expectations, maybe this is too high of a grade. I give him a B-. Like, he was around, he was there. It really felt like he pitched in more than 22 games, but he did not, which is wild. Yeah. But yeah, again, in the interest of keeping it pretty short and sweet, because our friends over at Dodger Blue are coming up, and I don't want to have us cross-contaminating with them too much. I like to send the friends over to hang out with Speegs and I think Anthony tonight. But what do you got for Edgardo?
Edgardo, I also had a B-. He was exactly what we thought he was in terms of wicked fastball, but couldn't command it. I think he outperformed it a little bit, but he wasn't horrible.
There was times of being extremely filthy.
Yeah, so I'll give him a B-. He exceeded the expectations slightly.
Yeah,
where I end on that.
And the thing is, like, he is somebody too. If you get him healthy you get him better, you get Brewstar back and healthy. You get both of the brothers back together, even though they're not related. Along with adding Kyle Hurt or whatever. Like, I'm not extremely worried about this bullpen heading into next year.
27. He's still young, guys.
It's insane how young that dude is. How long he's been around too.
I know, since 2019.
Since he's blown kisses to Manny Machado all those years ago.
Yeah, just easy up on Brewstar.
So it didn't hit the threshold, but I'm gonna do it either way. $2 from Nomo Oral Sax. Thank you much. What up, Real FRG? Like and subscribe, y'all. I'll give you a little pinner here.
Do they don't want oral sax?
No Oral Sax. Will Klein, all of his glory came from one appearance in Game 3.
Like massive, like
Massive,
huge,
massive. You could argue very easily the Dodgers do not win that World Series without him doing all of that. His stuff was nasty. You see the whip; it was a little gross. He's a little gross. I think people seeing the whip are going to be a little more turned off at Will Klein. He is somebody who is currently on the 40-man roster. He is somebody that will be around to start the season. I don't know the situation with his options. I liked him. I never loved him as some people. Loved him as much as some people, but he was good. He was around. He was solid. C, maybe an incomplete. C plus, B. I don't know. Like he was there. And make it tight because I really want to spend a minute on Evan Phillips.
Oh, okay.
And Justin Wrobleski, really. That's my boy. That's my dog.
Oh, that's your dog. I'll give him a B. I'll give him a solid B. Very much elevated by his B. World Series. I wouldn't say antics, but his performances, his heroics. That's the word I'm looking for. But he did look nasty at times. He had that. It's very similar to Edgardo.
Yeah,
looked very nasty at times. Maybe he just didn't have blackmail on somebody so that he actually got to pitch, whereas Edgardo didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Although actually Edgardo had more games. I don't know. Edgardo didn't get to really pitch in the World Series, whereas Will Klein, they just said, "Here's the ball till your arm falls off." So I'm very high on Edgardo just because it's
Will
the
Klein.
Dodgers. Will Klein, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm high on both of them. For the same
get it.
reason.
They all look the same. I get it.
It's the Dodgers formula. You have a filthy something, whether it's a fastball with run and high velocity, or you have a filthy secondary where you just tunnel something off it, and they both fit that mold. Thank you, Clint, or not Clint, Jeff in the chat. Klein has one option your left. I was looking it up, which is why you said keep it tight, but I was looking up his options. One option your left. So he'll be up and down next year for sure. I'm really happy he's on the roster. It's a solid B.
Yeah. Richie also saying in the chat, he also gave us a super chat, but he says live voicemails on Saturday. No, not Saturday, not this Saturday, because there is that meetup we have doing with a lot of the old Patreon OGs, the guys who have been here since the very beginning. We are meeting up and getting some, our second annual all Dodgers brunch, I guess we can call it. So there it is. If you guys want to be a part of that one of these days, subscribe, patreon.com/realfrg. It is $5 a month to support us, support independent Dodgers coverage. And with that, you get access to our Discord server where everybody's talking about the Dodgers all day long. We wish we had more to talk about in the offseason right now. You and I and Jeff at one point talked about we need to rewatch Game 7 all together. So we are at some point going to have an offseason watch party. But anyways, if you guys want to support us in independent Dodgers coverage, we'd appreciate it there on Patreon or here on YouTube members by clicking the join button below. But anyways, voicemails are not this Saturday. They will be the following Saturday. They will be back, so get them loaded up. We'll probably also do voicemails during the week next week because there's winter meetings going on. Also, $1.99 from Richie Flores, wanting to see that Noah Davis grade. It's right there with the, let's see, Jack Little or Chris Stratton or Ryan Lotus grade or Paul Gervais
Danny
grade.
Duffy.
My boy Danny Duffy, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Anyways, where are we at? What are we talking about? Are we moving on? We're done with Will Klein?
High leverage honey bun.
High leverage honey bun. I will remember you. I saved this one from a while ago. Dodger 1214 or 1214. Anyone who thinks Phillips wasn't important simply doesn't know ball. Philly. That hurt. Losing Evan Phillips, obviously started the season on the injured list, coming back from a shoulder injury sustained during that 24 World Series run. Came back, elbow started barking because probably it's about that time. It is a ticking time bomb. But the Dodgers lost Evan Phillips after only 7 games. As you would expect, he was great in those 7 games, 0 ERA, and Dodger 1214 also said losing Evan Phillips really hurt. He was the guy in the bullpen that was so reliable, and I think that was a big thing that was painfully evident, Kevin, from the start of the season. This was a team that did not have Philly, did not have that high leverage honey bun, and it struggled.
Yeah, and so that's why I can't give him a grade of incomplete. So
the grade is see me after class. I miss you.
Well, it's a C plus B minus because his absence was felt. Like when your importance is so great that when you're not there, it's noticeable. You've had an impact whether or not you're on the field, and that's especially in the postseason. I said it 2 streams ago that one thing that we definitely felt was like we really wish we had Evan Phillips to get right-handed guys out because we needed him.
Bad.
And so yeah, it's a C+, B- for E Philly because like one, he was good when he was playing, but also as the year went on, we were just like, dang, we really need like our elite setup guy. So he's going to miss the majority of next year, but I am so excited to get that man back.
Really,
one
really
of my
hope they
favorite
figure it
Dodgers.
out.
Yeah, they'll find a way. I don't like, he's definitely going to be, he's one of Doc's guys, so they'll figure it out. And even though he only pitched in 7 games this year, they don't win a World Series without him. I truly believe that. He is a glue guy. He's just,
100%.
He is one of the dogs. We're always, I'm always going to think about Evan Phillips in this as like a stalwart of this bullpen.
He has, so you guys, I mean, it's a real strain on his new marriage here, but Kevin, above his bed on the ceiling, has an Evan
true.
Phillips poster.
I covered up the mirror with a poster of Evan Phillips.
Oh, and Kevin likes to be on the bottom. Anyways, to wrap up this list, we've already talked about Kopech, talked a little bit about Brock Stewart much earlier in the show. Robo, my guy, Justin Wroblewski. The ladies love him, apparently. I never want to see that kid start a baseball game again at the major league level because he's ass at it. I was clamoring for him to be in the bullpen early. He had one blow-up game, I think 1 or 2 blow-up games late in the season that kind of inflated that ERA a little bit. When it comes to his bullpen ERA, but his career coming out of the bullpen is electric. Just talking about regular season right now. Overall, those season numbers, the 4.32 ERA in 2025 does not indicate how good he was. 3.23 ERA in 22 games coming out of the bullpen as a reliever. But bro was nails coming out of that bullpen when called upon in that World Series, and Dave waited a long time to pull that Robo lever, but when he did, it worked every single time. I love him. I am all about Justin Wroblewski, and if he has to take Anthony Banda's spot, I'm for it. But I'm giving him, maybe it's too high. I'm gonna give him a B+. What do you got?
I'm gonna give him a solid B. There's a little of platoon split worry for me with him. He was significantly better against left-handed batters than he was against right-handed batters. So if he could figure that out, I can give him an A. But he was a 726 OPS against right-handed batters, a 586 against left-handed batters. That's a big, big difference. So it's a B. However, again, they don't win the World Series without him because he was nails. He got some very key outs. There was, what was the bases loaded situation in either Game 6 or Game 7, I can't remember which, that he got out of, and we saw him get fired up. Max Muncy has to hold him back a little bit because Andres Jimenez takes exception to sticking. It's just the weirdest situation ever.
I tried to get hit, and then you hit me. How dare you?
And then you hit me? The heck? What is this? Just the dumbest situation. Max Muncy saves the day, holds him back because they know they're gonna need more out of Wroblewski. If they want to turn him into reliever again, I think he's got that elite stuff. Also very young. He's 25. He'll be 26 middle of next year. I still see a world where they try him as a starter and just see what they have.
Zero reason.
You can't turn all these guys into relievers.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I have decreed it. I have made it so. You don't need 8 starters when his role is very clearly reliever. Like, he's good at it.
I'm fine with that if it ends up being that, but if he ends up being a reliever, he's a high leverage reliever, no doubt. He needs to he needs something against left-handed batters. Yeah. 786 or 726, it's not going to cut it. So I'll give him a B.
All right. I saw, where did you go? Did I save it? I hope I saved it. I did not save it. Somebody had in the chat a thing. Oh, well, this one also, JY Kim asking about Bobby Miller. Not a chance. Won't touch that. Won't touch that.
He's a relief pitcher somewhere.
I don't want to
Maybe not in the 323/626 area.
I don't want to see him even slightly. Damn, I lost the tweet or the post comment that I wanted to put up there. So that's about it.
Is RoboCop the next long innings guy? Is that the one you're looking at?
No, but hey, let's no.
What will the Dodgers do with Landon? Oh yeah, Landon next tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk about Landon Knack tomorrow. We'll be live at 6:30 Pacific time tomorrow because Jeff has things he's doing with his life or something like that. So I think that's probably about a good time to hit the old wrap it up button. I didn't expect us to go on for this long. That's what she said, but here we are. Somebody said they don't like the sexual innuendo and
Innuendo.
Yeah, sorry. That's just never going to not happen here. Like, I have a problem, and I really clean it up as much as I can. But if you guys disagree with any of our grades, agree with any of our grades, sound off in the comments below. We appreciate you all for hanging out here. To put a cap on all of this, Dodgers bullpen is going to be a lot better next year than it was.
Has to be.
And it could be a lot of the same arms that we saw this season, this 2025 season. They are going to be better. Tanner Scott is not going to be the same garbage person he was. Kirby Yates is gone. Go.
I remember when you hired me, a piece I had done was looking at the Dodgers bullpen specifically going into the 2024 season. And I think since like 2019, they have always had a top 5 in ERA, team ERA, or relief bullpen ERA. Since 2019, they were always top 5. Last year is the outlier, in my opinion. I think they'll figure it out again to return to being a top. Let's be safe and say top 8.
Yeah,
right.
That's reasonable.
But it'll be the same arms, but they've all this organization has relied heavily on elite bullpen arms and talent. They've always been able to develop and find guys. Last year was weird, and we all recognize that. So I think next year it'll be better, and probably with, like you said, with the same guys.
Ken, pitcher should always be graded on a curve. Do you get it? Do you guys get it? Do you get it? That's not worthy of a boo. That is good. That is.
So what happens to oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. Anyway, we can wrap it up because I can't remember who's the guy that he was with the Dodgers. Now he was with the Red Sox, but he was a relief pitcher. His name's not Dustin May. He was really good for like a second.
Who are you talking about? About Chris Martin? You talking about Ryan Brazier?
Yeah.
He was with your Cubs. You should have known that.
Yeah, but he didn't throw a curveball. So what happens? Does he get an F?
Yeah.
Yes, Alex Renteria. Once upon a time, I was paid for my bad takes. Remember?
Well, no. Like, I never technically hired you here. I hired you at the old spot. Here, I was just like, hey, you want to hang out and talk with Dodger Bait? We're all just hanging out. Anyways, sorry for wasting everybody's time. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:30. Me, Kevin, Jeff, talking about that starting rotation that is going to be very good in 2026. Sorry to spoil it.
Talk about a positive. Let's go.
And you're going to see a lot of those names in the bullpen next year because they have a need for them. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us here on this Thursday edition. We understand there are a lot of Dodgers podcasts out there, including one that is live right now, and they're probably talking about, I don't know, bagels. I don't know what they talk about. I hear they talk about food. But we'd appreciate if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It is free. If you're looking for a different way to support the show, there is a super chat option when we are live. There is super thanks option when we are not live. Big shout out to Stephen. I don't even know how to say the last name. I'm bad at it. Stephen B. I'm just going to say Stephen Brunos. Anyways, dude, without fail, Briones sends a super thanks just about every episode, and we are very appreciative of that. But also check out the Patreon, check out the YouTube members, all of that kind of stuff. We'd appreciate you there. All Dodgers is presented by FanDuel, part of the Bleav Network podcast. Thank you. We love you. All of that kind of stuff. And until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.